we go. All right.
So question.
Yeah.
More accurate version of that statement, NFTs are not just JPEGs.
Yeah. Well, even the JPEG part, yeah. So if we remember, and I'll go back to this slide. This is the NFT, the block of data. The JPEG is, in this case, I have a link to the JPEG. So, yeah. So an NFT can be associated with a JPEG. That's how I would say. Not yet. Yeah, so in DSO, they've tried to simplify it. So what you do is you first create a post and then you NFT-ize it. So when you create a post, it is a piece of information on the blockchain, but it's not really buy and sellable yet, transferable. Then when you turn it into a quote NFT, now you can buy, sell, and you can track its history every time it's been bought and sold. So you can check its origin, who was the one who originally minted it. So, all right. We ready to start? Should we wait a few more or? Oh, okay. All right, we'll take a few more. While we're doing, how's this? So we'll take a look at some NFT projects. So if I go to, we might have gone here a little bit yesterday. So if we go to polygram.cc, this particular site, Polygram CC, it's built on, or it communicates with DSO, right? But they, hey, how's it going, Justin? They have plans to make this site both read from both the DSO blockchain and from Ethereum at some point. And someone brought up, oh, it was after class, we were talking about how, will there ever be one blockchain to rule them all? And I think the answer is no. We're probably going to have splintered blockchains, and they're going to have different purposes. But like the Bitcoin blockchain, that one might be with us forever, and it has a very specific function, which is to keep track of money. The Ethereum might also, who knows, be with us forever. It's much more computable, but we'll also get into, I gotta make sure there's this, these aren't not safe for work. I forgot to, let's see. I think Unicats are, you know, I'm gonna look up, one of my favorites is Pixel Unit. I like his stuff. I showed you guys a little bit yesterday. I own a few of his because they're super cheap, and I just like his art style. He's from South Korea. Let's see. So these. It's kind of the question. Oh, I'll try to remember to repeat the question for posterity's sake. The more an NFT is traded, the more value it becomes. Maybe, like, it's kind of like any piece of art. If a painting sells and sells and sells, maybe not. but you can kind of look through oh, that's a new, oh, I like this new style. I haven't seen those. So this is, well, before I start the lesson, I'll go into a couple different areas of art that is associated with NFTs, not NFTs, but that's fine. I'll shorten it and just say NFTs today. A lot of artists will do certain projects where they will keep kind of the standard, there'll be a standard look and feel, but they'll change color schemes, they'll change this. This particular artist, he will still, he uses, digital equipment to draw, but he still hand draws all of these. There are also ones, this was a fun little project called, oops, Octoposse. And so this one, it was a fun little game. They started out with Gen 1, and you would get this space octopus that's kind of ugly, right? But it would have all of these traits. I guess this one doesn't display the traits. NFT zone might. Let me just look real quick. Octoposse. So what the creators behind this, and it was a group in this case, these weren't hand drawn. These were generated by a computer program. And so there were, if you've ever worked with masks and layers in different art programs, so I don't know exactly how they did this, but I'm guessing there might have been 100 layers, and maybe layer 1 was the background. So you could choose, there'd be a possible happy face background, a broccoli background, a flowers background. And when you hit run on this computer program, what they did here is they assigned each attribute a rarity value. So maybe happy faces was super common, flowers was somewhat rare. Whenever they spun the dial, the wheel, so to speak, it was more likely for this to come up than that. And so a combination of all the traits would give this a rarity score. So some would be more rare than others. But that wasn't even the game. The game was each of these would have attributes, but the most important, there we go. So you can see arms, jazz arms, background colors, dark chocolate, eyes, red eyes. But sex was the most important because you had male, female, and other. And what you would do is the first generation, you could breed your male with a female, you would buy 2 different NFTs, and then you'd go to their website, and you would essentially, through this mechanism, pass those 2 NFTs to the program, and it would take the more rare traits of each parent and generate a child NFT. And then those 2 original, the parents, it would burn them. So no one owns them, they disappear. And in the folklore of the story, when these space octopi, when they mate, they die and they have an offspring. So now you now have 1 child, but it's more rare than the parents, and it's a second generation. So the game was to see if you could get all the way down to a 4th generation NFT. And your thought might be, oh, all you need is 8, right? 8 goes to 4, 4 goes to 2, 2 goes to 1. The problem is the children might be male, you might have all males in the 2nd generation, then you can't make them. So, but what happens is that first round, they took in about, I think, $80,000 on the sales of the first generation of NFTs. And part of the game was whoever makes it to the last round, however many generation 4s were left, they would take most of that money that was raised, like 50,000, and they would divide it equally among everyone who had a 4th generation. And so, does it sound like gambling? Yes, yes, it does. Was it fun to do? I didn't buy a full, in order to guarantee mathematically that you would end up with a 4th generation, you'd have to have 32 first generations. A lot of people got there with just 16, but the other thing is you could, if I had a male at Gen 3, and I could buy someone else's Gen 3 female, and then we could either decide to split the profits or whatever. So it was kind of a fun game. It's kind of dumb, but there's all these kind of things going out in the NFT art kind of world. But once again, that is not financial advice. but there's fun little projects like that. I real quick, I read about another one this morning where you buy an NFT, which is a pair of shoes NFT, and there's an app, a phone app associated with it, and the app will track your walking. There's like this 100-hour period during each day where if you can outwalk other people, like the people who get the most miles in or whatever, they'll get airdropped money just because you own that NFT. And so the one guy who is writing the article, he's like, man, this is better than any gym membership. As soon as I'm getting ready, I got my running shoes on, and as soon as the countdown hits, I run as fast as I can for 100 minutes. So again, it's silly, it's dumb, but a lot of the technologies that we end up using every day started off silly and dumb. And then we find a more useful application for it. Anyway, okay. So let's get back. So NFTs, today we're going to talk a little bit more about NFTs. And I say, repeat with me, NFTs are not JPEGs, right? NFTs are pieces of information that sometimes might reference a JPEG. Okay. And while your concert tickets, game assets, driver's license, resume, much more will eventually be NFTs. That's probably not true, but also in the crypto space, you have to hype. Like that's almost the rule. Everything is hype. So I go into marketer mode, right? So that's okay. I think we already kind of covered that, so we won't get too much into that today. We'll review. So first, we talked about just a block of information on this blockchain. It'll have a unique address, and in this case, this is my Ethereum wallet. You can write that down and send Ethereum to me if you wanted to, and this would go up. And that's stored on there. Every time I spend or receive Ethereum, it gets recorded to this blockchain so you can see the history. But also, like in DSO, I can do a post where I type some text, I reference an image by its URL, and then there's a number associated with it. And this sits on the blockchain. Now, if I take this post, and we'll see in DSO how you do it, and it's really easy, I can turn this regular block of information into an NFT. And in that case, I can then quote buy, I can sell it to someone else, they could buy it. And as it gets bought and sold, the transfer of ownership will be kept a permanent record on the blockchain, how much it was sold for, and who bought it. And when I say who bought it, what you'll see is this number right there. You won't see Kenny Jacobson, but you already in this room know that this number is associated with me, so you could look up all my transactions on the blockchain to see what I'm up to. So once again, Another repeat with me, the blockchain is not private. It is not anonymous. Okay. Let's, I'm gonna kind of try to hit this one more time. The concept of ownership, it can vary from culture to culture, right? We have the concept that you can own land. Other cultures, my understanding is some of the Native American cultures in this land previous to Europeans coming over, they were like, you can't own land. That doesn't make sense. That is, the concept would confuse them, right? But we're like, oh yeah, I own the land, right? What does that mean? I don't know. We are under this collective illusion or a cultural agreement that land can be owned and therefore it can be owned. Another fun example, have you guys ever heard about the Rise stones in Yap Islands, Micronesia? So there are these stones, circular with a hole in them, and they come in all sorts of sizes. And they were used as gifts, ceremonial gifts, and the ownership of large stones would be too difficult to move. And so it was established by tradition, it was established by history as recorded in oral tradition. So if Dr. Swift owned this stone, he wouldn't be able to bring it into his house, but as everyone walked by it in the morning to go get water and then come back, everyone would know that that's Dr. Swift's stone, right? There would be no question about it. And if he then sold it to someone else, if he sold it to Alan, it's now Alan's stone. And Alan's not going to wheel it home either, but we all agree that ownership transferred from Dr. Swift to Alan. And with them, they didn't have a written record, so it was part of their oral tradition. But everyone, because of this oral tradition, would know who owned what stones. And this is straight from Wikipedia, so it's true. Rise stones have been viewed by modern economists as a form of money. They're often used as an example to support the thesis that the value of some form of money can be assigned purely through a shared belief in said value. So what does ownership mean when it comes to NFTs? We don't know yet. There's some people who they have an understanding and it makes sense to them. And then there's the rest of us that roll our eyes and be like, what does that even mean? If we get to a point where culturally we all agree what it means to own an NFT, then people own NFTs. One side note, these stones, some of them are so big and they would transfer them from island to island. They put them in the canoes. And as you can imagine, sometimes it hit rough water and the stones would fall into the ocean and be unrecoverable. And yet you could still trade that stone because through oral tradition, because of the ledger, so to speak, that existed among that culture, we could say Matthew, he owns the stone that is at the bottom of the sea. And everyone, the people who saw it before it sank, they knew it was this big. And then if he wanted to sell it to me, we all agree I now own it. Even though I can't see it, no one can see it. We all believe it's there and we all agree upon its value. So just something to think about. I am not trying to convince you about the ownership of NFTs, but just thoughts. Okay. Matthew brought up the point. There's a lot of talk about the economic or the ecological impact of the blockchain, NFTs, Bitcoin, and that it sucks up a lot of electricity. Like it's polluting, it's adding carbon emissions to our planet. And so that's not good. So what we're going to talk about first is why that's happening. And maybe I'll cover it. Don't look at this side yet. I should have covered it. So Bitcoin and Ethereum, they work on what's called a proof of work, which means that we have a network of computers that are all equals, and every time you want to, the transactions that we do get blocked up every about 10 minutes. Everything happens. I could be wrong on that number now, but about every 10 minutes, everything that happened in the past 10 minutes on Bitcoin don't get written to the blockchain yet. They're hovering in memory on a bunch of computers. And then when it comes time to write that to the hard drive, let's say, of all the computers, in order for everyone to agree on what's being done, we have what's called a consensus mechanism. I'll try not to get too techy today, but it means that at least 51% of all the computers have to agree that yes, this is valid, we want to write it to the blockchain. Because otherwise, I could say, oh, here's the newest block, and by the way, Justin transferred $100,000 worth of Bitcoin to me. Yeah, that's right, and I put it on there, right? And so we want to try to weed out any people trying to write false information. And we won't get into the hows and whys, but the way this is accomplished is these computers, they have to solve a very hard puzzle. And let's just take, you guys are familiar with Sudoku? You guys like that? Okay, so a 9x9 Sudoku board, which is what we're used to playing with, how long does it take you to solve it? A few minutes, maybe a really hard one that doesn't have a whole bunch of, maybe 10, 20 minutes. Once you've solved it and you're convinced, if you handed it to Alan, how long does it take him to verify that it's correct? A few seconds, right? So to do the work takes a long time. To verify that it's correct, blink of an eye, okay? So what we're doing here is one of these, all these computers are trying to solve a Sudoku problem, except, I mean, not literally, but let's say for instance, but every time, every once in a while, the puzzle gets harder. So instead of 9x9, it's now 16x16. And we have to add letters. So 0 through 9, A, B, C, D, E, F, right? And then it keeps getting bigger and bigger. It gets harder and harder to solve, which means the computers have to work harder and harder to solve it. And the best algorithm, the best steps to solve it is just to throw out random numbers and see if they work, because it's easy to verify, but hard to solve, right? So you've got thousands and thousands of computers just blazing hot, trying to run through all these random solutions until someone wins. And that takes a lot of electricity to do. So you need very powerful computers, and they're all running full throttle. And as soon as one of them gets it right, it sends out the answer. A pool of these computers confirm instantaneously, yes, that's the correct answer. And now the computer that solved it gets the privilege of minting some new coins, bringing new coins into existence, and it gets to own those coins. So that's why when you hear about people doing Bitcoin mining, that's what they're hoping. They're hoping that they get to print money, right? Essentially. But like I said, it takes very powerful computers, and they have to run full throttle. Now, proof of stake is a newer concept, not that either one of these are that old, right? This is this century, this millennia. But proof of stake is a little bit different, and it tries to solve the problem of people buying these really expensive computers and running them full throttle all the time. So in this case, your computer buys, quote, a lottery ticket. It's going to stake some, if this is Ethereum, it's going to stake some Ethereum. Now the lottery ticket costs about $100,000. So it's pretty expensive. And your computer can have more than one of them. So the more money you can stake means the more money or the more chances you get to win. But when you stake it, it means you can't spend it. It's like putting it in a savings account, right? And that's why banks give you interest. They also, it's not a, shouldn't be too foreign of a concept to us. Here, the network will randomly pick a winner among all the lottery tickets, and the winner gets rewarded. And the nice thing about this lottery ticket, it doesn't disappear. Like every 10 minutes, you get another chance at winning. And so here, we don't need as powerful computers, and they don't have to be running full throttle, right? They're just sending out a message. Here's my ticket. Did you call it? I got it. Yay! You know what I mean? And so this is where we want to move. But Ethereum is currently still on proof of work, as is Bitcoin. And just a little bit of example. This is the terawatt hours in a year power consumption of Ethereum. And to give you just a little bit, I don't know what that number really means. I don't have an intuition about what it means. All I know is compared to Amazon, it's huge. And I think of it, Amazon has how many employees? Like 100,000 in the US, I think. Like, it is a big company. And they've got offices, and they've got EC2 servers, and they've got trucks. They have all this stuff consuming power, and yet they're a fraction of what Ethereum's doing. And then as you go down the line, it's less and less. And Google, I think Google is almost at 100% renewable energy. A lot of these are actually at Amazon has a lot of renewable energy too. But here with Ethereum, you have computers all over the world, in maybe some countries where they don't care about renewable energy, and they're just burning coal to power these computers. So there's, I said economic, I meant ecological. All right, let me change this. Ecological. All right. Now, Ethereum is planning to move from proof of work to proof of stake in 6 months. But also, Ethereum has been planning to move from proof of work to proof of stake in 6 months for the last 5 years. So when the founder, Vitalik, when he envisioned Ethereum, the idea of proof of stake was just a new theory that had been put forward. And he and others could not figure out yet how to implement it. They loved the idea, but there was no solution yet in place. Proof of work was working, so that's where they went with the idea that they would eventually get here when it was viable. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully it starts to happen soon. Lastly, what about DeSo? At this point, DeSo is, I think I mentioned this last time, DeSo is not truly decentralized. It's operated by a foundation. So they are footing the bill for the servers, and it does not consume the power because you don't have bad actors even to try to guard against at this point. So they can do things cheaply, but it's not truly decentralized. When DeSo finally decentralizes, it will have to be proof of stake. Like, the community won't allow it to be proof of work. Like, we in the community will fight against it. So they're going to have to do. And the founder, his name's Nader. He believes in that too. So, any questions? I went through all that really fast. Yeah. 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 Okay. Yes. Okay. That's a good point. And as I did more research, I found that it's actually probably equal between, Yeah, between proof of work, proof of stake. Because let's face it, and I was talking to Dr. Swift about this. As much as we want to think that finally decentralization is the great equalizer, it is the great democratic institution, either way, the rich are going to get richer. Like that's just, and that has been a human condition for a very, very long time. And for all of some of the problems that decentralization will solve, income or economic inequity probably won't be one of those. Hopefully it doesn't exacerbate it. So yeah, because, and the reason why, Matthew, is right now, people who want to mine Bitcoin, they're the people who have lots and lots of money to buy these fast computers. It used to be in the very beginning when I first heard about Bitcoin and I had it running on my machine, like I just had an old laptop and I still didn't have a great chance, and I never did get any, never was able to mine any Bitcoin, but it was just a race to the most powerful machinery. And with proof of stake, with this $100,000 ticket buy-in, having to stake $100,000 in order to even be able to win in the lottery, once again, that kind of prevents maybe people like us from doing that. But the solution is there are small groups that form into either like a legal entity, like a corporation or LLC, where they can pool their money and buy. Or we might get to that point where we haven't talked about DAOs yet, decentralized autonomous organizations, but we still don't know exactly what they are yet, but the hope is that it could kind of replace what we think of as a corporation or something like that. I think that's a very lofty goal. I think they'll be useful, but I still want to be able to have a country to go to and say, can you enforce this contract, right? Because anyway, I'm still not convinced on that. I think it will have use, but that said, you could form DAOs where people could buy in and stake smaller amounts of Ethereum or whatever. So yeah. Yeah.
So you said on the proof of work that it makes new coins. I just heard that Bitcoin was limited. So like, how can you make new Bitcoin if Bitcoin is supposed to be?
Yeah, so Bitcoin will hit a cap at some point. Yeah, at that point, I think
Oh, but not all of them have been.
Exactly, not all of them have been minted yet. So, and I don't know, we could look it up, but you could Google it. When will Bitcoin be done minting? And I think the idea there is now you have so many computers supporting the network that you no longer have to offer that reward.
And then do both proof of work and stake at the same time, or does it have to be like?
That's a good question.
It's like I've heard both things.
Yeah, I don't know either. It seems, yeah, I don't know. Sorry. we'll keep looking. my gut is I don't see how you could, because it's the network itself that decides, but who knows, maybe there's hybrid networks out there that I don't know about. So yeah, I am not the expert. I'm just play one on TV. Anything else? Yeah, Justin.
So proof of stake is $20,000.
Uh-huh.
Do we want to move to that purely because of the downsides of proof of work? The ecological downsides?
Yeah, are you saying, are there any other advantages besides that?
Yeah.
No, I think that's the main. I think that is the main one, because as far as a 51% attack, from what I read, they're both equal. Like if someone's super rich, or like the 10 most rich people in the world decide that they want to take over Bitcoin, then they can just throw so much hardware at it as to take over the network. And the same, so that would be in a proof of work, and in a proof of stake, they would do something similar. They would just buy all the coins they could and stake them. And so, and that's, that is the, like, it's nothing is ever a perfect system. I don't think so. That is one possibility, that someone take over these networks. But that's why with DeSo in its infancy, that's why it's not decentralized right now, because they don't want any one bad actor to come in and be able to push it around.
Where do they get that 100,000 from?
The number, or
in like a decade or 2 decades when that 100,000 really worked out.
right? Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
What do you mean by where is it itself? Because like, I mean, I do ice bait by Kronos.
Yeah.
And I still get big hits.
Yeah.
So what do you mean by?
Yeah. So I was just using a metaphor, right? Yeah. So really, and I think what's happening with, because with staking in a certain coin like that, I think what they're doing, I could be wrong, but they're taking that giant pool of money and spreading it out. And then one hits jackpot today. So they take that and they spread it out and pay it back out in dividends. That's my guess. Yeah. So what's that? Yeah. There are some people are there's a phrase that our CEO, my business partner at my last company, he would say all the time: pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered. And so if you're sitting there staking whatever coin for a 4.5% return, annual return, that's still beating a lot of stuff out there, and it's a fairly safe bet, right? So there you're just a pig and you're getting fed, you're getting a nice little nourishment. But when you get into speculation and you're hoping that something's going to go to the moon, that you have the potential to get slaughtered. So anyway, any other thoughts, comments, questions on that? Should we try to mint some of our own NFTs? All right. So I'm going to start off in, are most of you still on BitClout? Did you like BitClout, or did you like, some of you might have went to diamondapp.com. Both of those front ends work. So yeah, I mean, we're all on. Oh, okay. Yeah, both. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to do it on BitClout. So I told you guys I guess 13 days ago. See, it's a nice record of my life. I took a picture, I snapped a picture at the Yusuf Days concert and posted it. And now I'm going to turn this into an NFT. So if I just click on the triple dots and do mint NFT, then we'll go over what all of these mean. So single or multiple editions. So sometimes you might want a certain NFT to be owned by 10 people or 20 or whatever. So you could have multiple editions of it.
And you said how many of those NFTs?
Yep. So if I don't know, if I were doing a ticketing system and they were all tickets cost the same amount, then I could just create one NFT, but have, maybe there were 100 possible seats. I could do 100 editions, and that would keep count within DeSo, within these front ends. They could show you how many of those NFTs are left, how many have been bought, how many have been left. So I'm just going to keep it to a single one. I'm going to put it on sale, and you have so this buy now price, kind of new. They just introduced that into the chain about a month ago. So if the buy now is nice because you don't have to keep going back and see if anyone's bid on it. And if you want to, it might be easier just mentally to translate it to put it in dollars as opposed to DSO, and because it fluctuates, the price fluctuates. But I'm going to set a buy now price, and I don't really intend to sell it. So, oh, let's see, put it on sale. I guess I do have to have a minimum bid. Okay. This is actually my first time. I had a meeting earlier and wasn't able to do slides. So if someone wants that, they got to pay $100 for it. I don't really want to sell. And then, oh, that's what it is. Enable buy. All right. Put it on sale. Can I blank this out? Oh, I don't. Yeah. All right. All right. Buy now price. I'll just make it. I'll make it the same. Okay. Creator royalty. Okay. So what this means, these are kind of fun. If anytime this, so I sell it to someone and I get, 100 or 2.2D, so I get $100. Then if someone sells it to someone else, I will get 5% of that sale price. And if that person sells it to someone else, I again get 5% of that sale price. So me as the artist, I keep benefiting every time this creation of mine gets sold. And then DSO having this, we didn't get too much into it last time, but when you signed up and created your profile, you now have a creator coin, right? We talked a little bit about that. I can invest in you, you can invest in me. Well, here, I think this is probably the best use case is if there's a DSO artist I like that one guy, Pixel Unit from South Korea, I can buy his coin, and anytime one of his NFTs gets sold, I will get 10% of the pool of money that goes to coin holders. So it's not that I'm going to get 10% of the total sale price, because if more than 10 of us, oh, anyway, but you get what I'm saying. The math works out. In other words, by supporting an artist and giving him some money or her some money up front, I get to continually be rewarded every time that NFT is sold. So that's kind of fun. And it looks like these are the default, so I'll leave them there. If I wanted to add additional royalties, yeah, I don't know what those mean. We'd have to look them up. On every sale, including resale, customizable percent goes to you, the creator, and to your coin holders. All right. Now, when you upload a JPEG to the DSO blockchain through most of these interfaces, to save space, it will shrink it down so it doesn't take up too much space. And right now, the images for DSO are not being stored on a decentralized platform either, which is fine for now. But what a lot of artists will do, they'll include unlockable content, which is a link to a high resolution version of that. And so that's what'll happen sometimes. Other times it'll be like a password to get into another website, because now you own this NFT and you get access to this website, or maybe access to this Discord server or something like that. Everything's on Discord servers, right? Yeah. Let's see. And then now look at this. The network fee for minting a NFT on DSO, whoops. 0.00001 DSO. And that right now comes out to like no cents, maybe 0.005 cents. Super, super cheap. Okay. All right. So I'm going to hit mint NFT. Oh, what am I missing? Single money. Oh, I did this thing. I wonder if I screwed it up. Oh no, no, I did it. All right, let's start over again. Yeah, but I did, yeah, exactly. So and I did post it. So let's do this. Let's do I won't worry about buy now price right now. I'll just make this 100 and leave everything else default. There we go. Minting NFT. And there we go. Now, what was before just a post, now it's an NFT. And I have one of one available. Remember, because there's only one edition. Here's the bid. And there is no extra date. Oh, there is. Oh, that's right. They're adding that now. Okay. This is some techie stuff, but tomorrow, I don't know how many people will come to the programming one, but the other one I want to mint today, I want to put some more metadata attached to it, because what I want to do is create a game where it's kind of like, have you guys played Gloomhaven? If you're familiar with, okay, so it's kind of like D&D, but you use, it's a deck building kind of D&D game. So I want to do a very simplified version where the cards for your deck are NFTs, and like you'll have a character NFT, right? Like a paladin, and their armor class will be 15 and their hit points will be 20, something like that. So I can store that data there. And then when I write my app, my game, the person will log in, so I know who they are. Then I can go look over their list of NFTs, and I'll have a piece of data that says like app equals Kenny's game, right? And I'll only look for the NFTs where app name equals Kenny or whatever. But here I will also have armor class equal to 15, the hit points equal to 20, attack damage equal to whatever. And then I can load that into my program, and the person can play, the computer can read that information and then do all the dice rolling for me and all that. So that's what I think would be fun. Anyway, do you guys want to try it? Have you guys already done it? All right. So that's doing it on through BitClout. But if you notice, I wasn't able to add any metadata myself, or it's calling it extra data. And that's just because this particular front end, BitClout, doesn't allow it. But this one, NFT-ize, does, I noticed. And I haven't done it before. So here we go, live without a net. But I noticed here, if I mint, it will do, remember how first we create a post and then we turn that post into a mint, or we mint it into an NFT. If you use NFT-ize, it does both steps for you behind the scenes. So for you, it's just a one-step process. So here, this will create a post and mint it instantly as an NFT. And I don't want this to, let's see. I want to log in. I have a couple different profiles. I want to keep it under wraps a little bit, what I'm doing, because I've got lots of people I'm connected to with my Kenny J account, but I also have a Kenny J test account. And so I want to mint it under that, but I'm trying to figure out. There we go. Yeah, sign out. Okay, let me log in. And now you can see my multitude of different accounts. They'll pop up. So this is the one I'll do Kenny J test. There we go. And now I'm going to give a nice little, I like to. Right now we are in the infant stage of DSO. And so some of the sites are a little clunky, and therefore knowing what I know about sites and development, I always like to give things a good refresh to make sure that to increase my chances of stuff not breaking. Okay, so text for your NFT. You don't have to put anything there, but as I already told Jeff and some others, when you're working on a secret project and you just want to let some of your developer friends know you're working on a secret project, you use the phrase probably nothing, right? And I do that because some of my developer friends not only follow my real account, they also follow my test account to see what I'm messing around with. And so if they see, I guarantee if someone sees me create this new NFT there with all this metadata, I'm going to get a ping on Discord and they're going to be like, what are you working on, Kenny? Can you show me? That kind of thing. So anyway, once again, so much of Web3 is about hype. And I am not a good hype person. It kind of makes me sick to my stomach sometimes, but I'm having to learn, right? If you want to sell a product. Okay, drag and drop your images or browse. Okay, so that's a convenient way. I think there we go. Here's my Paladin PNG right there. So very simple, dumb little deck card. At some point, I will actually hire one, or I'll work either together or hire a real artist to draw the pretty cards for me. But okay, so we want hit points 20, 15. All right. So let's do this. Let's take them at their word and assume that drag and drop is going to work. Whoops. Oh, great. All right. Drag. That's not good. You're right. I want the PNG. Thank you. It's not going to like the SVG probably. Copy. Okay. Okay, there we go. All right, it's uploading. Nice. Drag and drop your video. Okay, I'm not going to do video. Airweave is another one of these decentralized file storage. So if I had a high resolution image, I can put the link in there. All right, copies one. Oh, see, this is a case where I can offer 10 copies of this. But again, I really don't want people to buy it. So we'll make this 2D. So buy now price 2D. So hopefully no one gives me $90 for a Skunkworks project, because then I'll feel obligated to do something, right? If someone pays me money, then I'm like, oh crap, I've got to deliver. All right, unlockable content, put it on sale, sure. DSO wallet. Okay, this is fine. Now, this is what I wanted. And I'm going to click on Jason because what should I don't even have a name for my game yet. Let's call it let's see, something, a play on Gloomhaven, so I can telegraph to some people what I'm doing. Bloom. Deckhaven. There. Deeshaven. Yeah, yeah, there we go. Right. All right, let's do that. Deso Haven description. I'm not going to put anything. Edition. We'll put 0. This is 0 edition. So this was stuff that was just there from their website. Now I'm going to add in my own metadata. And so let's do HP for hit points. And I think it was 20. Is that right? Let me expand this back out so I can see it. Yeah, 20 hit points, armor class 15. That's too high, but that's fine. Because I want to have another card that are armor cards, right? So but that would be my base armor class, and then it would be, if it's chainmail, then it's a +3 or whatever. Okay, next one, armor class, but I'll make it match 15. And then what did I say for damage? Okay, 4 to 14. And Matthew, this was the problem we were trying to solve yesterday in class, whether we use a tuple, right? Or whether we break them into 2. So the JSON isn't going to play nice with a tuple. So I'm going to have min, what is it? I'll just say min damage and max damage. So min damage will be, what did I say? 2, 4, 4. And then max damage 14. Is that what I said? Okay. And then there's a couple things, more things I'll probably want to add. So maybe name paladin. And this will be internally for me, app. And this is where I'll also put Deso Haven. And it's never a bad idea to version whatever you're doing. So you can make it backward, forward compatible. We'll just call this version 0.001. Oh, and the type of card. Let's see. Because I plan to have armor and weapons. So this one will be character. All right. You nerds, what else am I missing that I might need to know in my game? I think this is enough for now, and it's not. Oh, gender? Yes. Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah. Yeah, the Octoposse. Let's make this, we'll make these paladins female. And that's right, in D&D you have race. I like Dragonborn. Let's do that one. That's a newer one, right? Like that wasn't an original. But oh, okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, no, you're right. Like I'm missing intelligence and charisma and wisdom. We're not gonna. Okay, I think we've got enough for now. So yeah. All right. Well, that you have those online character rollers, right? It would just be one extra step to grab all that information, put it in an NFT, have a generative, just like we did with Octoposse, like you have different color hats, different color eyes, and it just randomly generates a photo of your character. All right, let's mint NFT. Let's see if it blows up. Whoops, no. Whoops, there was an error. No valid token. All right, well, phooey. This Well, anyway, I'll get back to the drawing board on that one. I can always try it again, but on NFT-ize, and it worked. Oh, okay. Then maybe there's a problem with my JSON. Let's take a look. Oh, you know what it might not like? I bet you it doesn't like, let's make everything strings. It's possible that this might solve the problem. Okay, did I miss anything? All my numbers are now strings, right? All right, let's try it again. Although now I can't because it's got the dumb spinner. Okay, let me copy all of this so I don't lose my work. Make sure I put it somewhere. Save. All right. Let's try this again. All right. Okay, I thought I'd be able to find it better. Okay, let's do it this way again. File it in, and DSO. Let's do straight JSON. Did I forget anything else? Here? Yeah. All right. Okay. Yes. Mm-hmm. So yes, you are correct. So theoretically, I could put it here. The kind of the reason I wouldn't is because then this would show up in just regular like BitClout. And people might get confused and they're like, why is there all this ugly computer code? But by keeping it here in the hidden data, it doesn't show up in the social media. Yeah. So fingers. Wait. Oh, there we go. Oh, how do I see it? Okay, so if I go back. Oh. Uh-huh. Oh, exactly. So that will depend on the quote front end. And so most front ends are not showing that, but that's why I'm going to have to write my own program that will read that stuff in and do what I need to with it. Yeah. So, but apparently if you go to NFT zone and look at your NFT through there, it does put it nicely for you. So it does display it. But yeah, if I go back to, yeah, or in Diamond, I don't think it will either. So here, let me switch to Kenny J test, go to my profile. And so, yeah, so here's, oh, that's weird. Okay, that is big. And yeah, so you don't see that information here. And then you can comment on an NFT because it's still a post, so I can write another comment on there and say probably nothing. And so from then on out, from here to eternity, that comment I made on the NFT will now follow the NFT around everywhere. And so someone made the point where if you had an NFT and you had someone famous comment on it, it's almost like having them sign that thing, because now that comment will follow around and might increase the value. So yeah. What have you, show me what you guys have done. I want to see. Let me go back to my regular account. And I don't know everyone of course used pseudonymous names, so I don't know who anyone is. What was yours again? That's right, I do remember. Oops. That weren't in. Oh yeah, yeah. Right, yeah. Like I said, there's nice. Probably nothing. So I can heart or diamond, say 1 diamond is a penny, 2 is 2 pennies. I can tip you a quarter. There we go. Now, if you look in your wallet, you'll have 23 cents more. Oh, okay. Let's see. Who else do we have? Oh. Nice. And I think, let's see, did you get yeah, so there's this community, because it's still kind of small, is also super friendly. So, and there are people who just kind of they just monitor the new user feed and just say, hi, welcome. And then some people actually create a bot where I like posts of any new user that comes in, and then to help them feel good. And also they'll usually then follow me and up my numbers. So yeah. Who else made an NFT? Let's look up yours. Alan, did you make yours into? Oh, okay. Let's see. Jeff, you did a while, like you did a week ago or so. What is yours again? Say it again. Okay. Oh, SWY. That's right. There we go. Oh, nice. You even reposted my see? So Dr. Swift posted this, and I bought one of them. So now there's only 4 of the 5 left. Get in, yeah, you never know. You never know. And the buy now price is, $6, but I found he'll accept less than that. So you can offer. What else did I want? Oh, so this DSO account, that's another account of mine where I keep track of all the off-chain meetings that are going on. So if people are having events like on Discord or on Telegram or Telegraph, whatever, all of those. I tried to go to my site, but I get blocked by. Oh no, it came up this time. Okay, good. So yeah, so I created this site, and this taps into the DSO blockchain too. And what I have it do is it just specifically goes to this DSO account, and I have a programmatic way of taking in the information and parsing it out and then just printing it like kind of organized here, but I'm also saving this as like that metadata. And then I read it back out and put it on this calendar. So, and that way people know what's going on. And I don't have, there's nothing coming up, or I don't have anything yet on the calendar. If there is, they appear in this sidebar too. So that's another fun little thing. Any other questions or comments? That's kind of all I have for today. Good. Let's see. Nate, who do we have on? Yeah, Nathan. Oh, nice. All right. Hi, Nathan. All right. I'll probably just shut down the class and